Welcome to English FlowZone. What if 125 everyday English phrases could transform the way you speak in real conversations? Stay with us, practice naturally, and let's start mastering the phrases you'll actually use.
I am Natasha, your host for today. If you're watching this lesson right now, I want you to know something simple but important. You're in the right place. Today we're starting a masterclass that is designed for learners who want to speak English naturally, not just know English. And when I say naturally, I don't mean perfect grammar in every sentence. I mean real-life English that sounds smooth, calm, and confident. The kind of English you hear in daily conversations at home, at work, in cafes, on phone calls, or in quick chats with friends. My name is your teacher for today, and I'll guide you step by step. If you're new here, here's what you can expect. We focus on practical English, the exact phrases people use every day. Not complicated words, not long textbook sentences, but simple phrases that carry emotion, intention, and rhythm. Because that is what makes someone sound fluent. Fluent speakers don't always use big vocabulary. They use the right small phrases at the right moment with the right tone. Now, before we begin, I want to set the direction clearly. In this masterclass, we're going to practice daily English phrases that native speakers use constantly, but many learners forget to train. These phrases are like the glue of conversation. They keep the flow alive. They help you react. They help you show interest. They help you agree-disagree, show surprise, ask questions, end conversations politely, and move from one topic to another smoothly. And the best part is this. When you learn these phrases properly, you start thinking in English without hesitation. That doesn't happen because you memorize more vocabulary lists. It happens because your brain learns complete chunks of language. Instead of building every sentence word by word, you start speaking in ready-made patterns. And that is exactly how real fluency is built. So here's how today will work. I will introduce a group of daily phrases, explain what they mean in real life, show you examples, and then guide you through speaking practice. You will repeat after me. You will practice with emotion. You will imagine real situations. You will train your mouth, your ears, and your brain to work together. Think of it like training a muscle. You don't get stronger by reading about exercise. You get stronger by doing it again and again. Before we go deeper, let's take one deep breath together. In through your nose and out slowly. Good. I want you to relax your shoulders because speaking English is not only about language, it's also about nerves. Many learners freeze because they feel pressure. They try to sound perfect. They worry about mistakes. But in real conversations, the goal is not perfection. The goal is connection. When you focus on connection, your English becomes warmer, smoother, and more confident. Now, there's a powerful truth I want you to remember from the start. The phrases you learn today are not extra. They are not decoration. They are the foundation of everyday speaking. They are the difference between sounding robotic and sounding human. For example, if you only know textbook answers, you might respond in a stiff way like a written essay. But in real life, people react with short phrases that show feeling. Let me give you a simple picture. Imagine you're talking to a friend. Your friend tells you something stressful. If you respond with a long formal sentence, it can sound distant. But if you respond with a small natural phrase, it feels real. It feels like a conversation. And that is what we are building here. Now I want to add one creative habit that will make your progress faster. I call it the one phrase, one moment habit. Every day, choose one phrase from this masterclass and connect it to one real moment in your life. If you learn a phrase like, "That makes sense," you will use it one time today, even if it's just in your mind. You can use it when you watch a video, when you read something, or when you talk to a friend online. One phrase, one moment, that's enough. Because consistency beats intensity. A little practice every day trains your brain to make English automatic. And I want to be very clear. You do not need to practice for hours to improve. You need focused repetition. You need calm, steady training. Even 5 minutes of speaking out loud every day can change your fluency in a big way. Why? Because speaking is physical. Your mouth needs practice. Your tongue needs practice. Your ears need practice. Your timing needs practice. Reading silently won't build that. So here's what I want you to do during this lesson. Don't just listen. Speak with me. Repeat with me, even if your voice is quiet, even if you feel shy. Speak anyway. Your brain learns faster when your body is involved. Now let's talk about the mindset that will carry you through this entire masterclass. Many learners believe fluency means fast speaking, but that's not true. Fluency is not speed. Fluency is flow. It's the feeling that your words move smoothly without heavy stopping, without panic, without translation. A fluent speaker can speak slowly and still sound fluent because the rhythm is natural, the tone is relaxed, the phrases are real. So today our focus is flow. And flow comes from three things. It comes from having the right daily phrases ready. It comes from using natural tone and emotion. And it comes from practicing them in real situations. Let's build one more important idea before we start the first phrase group. In real conversation, you don't create everything from zero. You rely on familiar patterns. That's why these daily phrases are so powerful. When you learn them, your brain stops working so hard. Your brain stops translating. Your brain starts responding. And responding is where fluency begins. Now a quick promise from me as your teacher in this session. I will keep everything simple, clear, and practical. I will not overload you with grammar rules. We will focus on spoken English, real-life English, English that you can use today. And along the way, I will give you practice prompts to train your speaking naturally. Before we begin the first lesson group, I want you to do a small check-in with yourself. Ask yourself this question quietly in your mind. Where do I want to use English? Maybe you want to speak at work. Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to talk to international friends. Maybe you want to feel confident when you hear English around you. Whatever your reason is, keep it close, because your reason is your fuel. Now one more small but powerful step. Say this sentence softly, even if you whisper it. I can speak English naturally. Say it again. I can speak English naturally. Good. You are not just learning words today. You are training your identity. You are training your brain to believe that English is something you can use, not something you must fear. All right, you're ready. Now we're going to begin with the kind of phrases that seem small, but they are incredibly powerful. The kind of phrases you use without even realizing how much they shape your conversations. Phrases that show understanding, agreement, emotion, and connection. And we will start with the first group in the next part, step by step, with practice and real examples. Now that you're relaxed and ready, let's move into our first real group of daily English phrases. These are some of the most important phrases in spoken English, especially for beginners and intermediate learners, because they help you show understanding and empathy. Without them, conversations feel cold or broken. With them, your English immediately sounds warmer, more natural, and more fluent. Let's start with a simple truth. In real-life, conversations are not only about exchanging information, they are about showing that you understand the other person. When someone speaks to you, they don't only want an answer. They want a reaction. They want to feel heard. And that is where these phrases come in. One very common phrase you hear in natural English is, I get it. Sometimes you'll also hear, I get you, or I get what you mean. These phrases are short, but they carry a lot of meaning. They say, I understand your situation. They say, I'm with you. They say, I'm listening. And native speakers use them all the time. Let's imagine a real situation. A friend tells you I stayed up late working and now I'm exhausted. If you only say, okay, the conversation stops. But if you say, I get it, that sounds exhausting. The conversation continues. You are connected emotionally, not just linguistically. Now let's practice slowly together. Repeat after me, calmly and clearly. I get it. Again, I get it. Good. Notice how easy that feels to say. It doesn't require complicated grammar. It doesn't require thinking. That's exactly why it's powerful. Now let's add a little more emotion. Repeat after me. I get it. This time imagine someone you care about is speaking. Say it again. I get it. Excellent. Another very common phrase is, that makes sense. This phrase is extremely useful when someone explains something to you and you want to show that you understand their logic or their reason. Native speakers use this phrase constantly in conversations at work, at home, and with friends. For example, someone says, I'm taking a break from social media because it was stressing me out. You can respond naturally by saying, yeah, that makes sense. This response is calm, supportive, and natural. Now repeat after me slowly. That makes sense. Again. That makes sense. Good. Now try it with a softer tone. Yeah, that makes sense. Perfect. Let's put these two phrases together in a small natural conversation. Imagine this situation. A colleague says, "I didn't finish the task because the deadline was changed at the last minute." You respond, "Oh, I get it. That makes sense." Listen to how smooth that sounds. No tension, no awkwardness, just natural flow. Now repeat that response out loud with me. "Oh, I get it. That makes sense." Try it again a little more naturally. "Oh, I get it. That makes sense." Well done. These phrases may feel simple, but they are doing something very important in your brain. They are teaching your brain to react instead of translate. You are not building a sentence from scratch. You are using a ready-made response. And that is exactly how fluent speakers think. Now let's expand this group slightly with another common expression. "I understand." This one is slightly more formal than "I get it," but it's still very natural and widely used. You might hear it often in work situations or polite conversations. Repeat after me. "I understand." Again, "I understand." Now imagine your tone is calm and supportive. "I understand." Good. Now let's practice choosing the right phrase depending on the situation. Imagine a close friend is talking to you emotionally. You might say, "I get it." Imagine a colleague is explaining a work problem. You might say, "I understand," or "That makes sense." This ability to choose naturally comes with practice, and today you're building that habit. Let's do a short guided exercise. I will say a sentence, and you will choose one of these phrases in your response. I'll pause so you can speak. Here's the first sentence. "I missed the bus this morning, so I was late for work." Pause now and respond out loud. You could say, "I get it," or "That makes sense." Good. Next one. "I decided to study at night because it's quieter." Pause and respond, "Yeah, that makes sense." Excellent. Next one. "I feel nervous speaking English in meetings." Pause and respond, "I get it," or "I understand." Very good. Notice what's happening. You are not translating. You are responding emotionally. This is exactly what we want. Now I want to add one creative but very useful idea here. When you use phrases like these, don't rush them. Let them breathe. Fluent speakers often pause slightly before or after these phrases. For example, "Oh, I get it." That small pause makes your English sound calm and confident. It shows control. Let's practice that rhythm. Repeat after me. "Oh, I get it." Again. "Oh, I get it." Good. Now try. "Yeah, that makes sense." Excellent. Now let's put everything into a slightly longer mini dialogue so you can feel the flow. Imagine this conversation. Your friend says, "I've been trying to learn English, but sometimes I feel stuck." You respond, "Yeah, I get it. Learning a language takes time." Your friend continues, "I don't always see progress." You reply, "That makes sense. Progress isn't always easy to notice." Listen to how supportive and natural that sounds. Now repeat your lines out loud. "Yeah, I get it." Pause. "That makes sense." Try it again, imagining a real friend in front of you. Very good. At this point, I want you to check in with yourself. Ask yourself this question silently. Do these phrases feel easier the second time? Most learners notice that after just a few repetitions, the phrases start to come out more smoothly. That's not an accident. That's your brain learning patterns. Now here's a small daily practice tip you can use starting today. Every time someone explains something to you in English, even in a video or podcast, respond quietly with one of these phrases. You can say it in your head or whisper it. "I get it." "That makes sense." This simple habit trains your brain to stay in English mode. Before we finish this part, let's do one final slow repetition together, like a calm drill. Repeat after me. "I get it." "That makes sense." "I understand." Say them one more time softly with confidence. Excellent. In the next part, we'll build on this foundation and move into phrases you can use to agree and show support in a more expressive way. So your English doesn't just sound correct, but sounds alive. Now that you've learned how to show understanding and empathy, we're going to take the next natural step in everyday English conversation. We're going to practice phrases that help you agree and show support in a clear, confident, and natural way. This is extremely important because in real life, we agree with people many times a day. At work, with family, with friends, even when listening to videos or reading messages. And if you always respond with only yes or okay, your English can sound flat or limited. Fluent speakers don't only agree, they show how they agree. They add tone, emotion, and personality. And that's what we're going to build together in this part. Let's begin with a very common and powerful word, absolutely. Native speakers use this word constantly. It's strong, positive, and confident. You can use it when you fully agree with something, when you support an idea, or when you want to sound enthusiastic without being too emotional. Imagine someone says, "We should practice English every day." Instead of saying yes, you can say absolutely. That one word already sounds confident and natural. Now repeat after me slowly. Absolutely. Again, absolutely. Good. Notice how your mouth opens clearly at the beginning. That strong sound gives the word confidence. Now try saying it with a little warmth. Absolutely. Excellent. Another very common agreement phrase is exactly. This is often used when someone says something that matches your thoughts perfectly. It's like saying, "That's exactly what I was thinking." For example, someone says learning English through real conversations is more effective than memorizing grammar rules. You can respond with exactly. Short, clear, and very natural. Repeat after me. Exactly. Again. Exactly. Good. Now let's add another phrase that sounds slightly longer but very natural. You're right about that. This phrase is calm and polite. It's often used in thoughtful conversations, especially when you want to sound respectful. Repeat after me slowly. You're right about that. Again. You're right about that. Good. Try it with a relaxed tone. You're right about that. Perfect. Now let's learn one more phrase that fluent speakers love. I couldn't agree more. This phrase sounds advanced, but it's actually very easy to use. It means you strongly agree with someone. Repeat after me slowly. I couldn't agree more. Again, I couldn't agree more. Good. Now let's pause for a moment and reflect. All four of these phrases serve the same function. They show agreement. But each one has a slightly different feeling. Absolutely sounds energetic. Exactly sounds precise. You're right about that sounds thoughtful. I couldn't agree more sounds strong and confident. Fluent speakers choose based on the moment, not based on rules. Now let's practice these phrases in real-life situations, so your brain learns how to use them naturally. Imagine you're at work. A colleague says we should finish this project before the deadline, so we don't feel stressed later. You can respond, absolutely. That's a good idea. Listen to how natural that sounds. Now imagine a friend says, practicing English by speaking out loud really helps. You can respond, exactly. Or, I couldn't agree more. Let's repeat a few model responses together. Say them out loud with me. Absolutely, exactly. You're right about that. I couldn't agree more. Good? Now let's do a short guided speaking exercise. I'll say a sentence and you'll respond naturally using one of these phrases. Take a moment to speak out loud. First sentence. Listening practice improves pronunciation. Pause now and respond. You could say, you're right about that. Second sentence. Daily practice is more important than long study sessions once a week. Pause and respond. Absolutely. Or I couldn't agree more. Third sentence. Learning English takes patience. Pause and respond. Exactly. Very good. You're not just repeating words anymore, you're choosing. And choice is a sign of fluency. Now let's take this a little deeper. Agreement is not only about words, it's also about tone and timing. Fluent speakers often agree smoothly without rushing. They may pause slightly before responding. That pause shows confidence and control. Let's practice that rhythm. Repeat after me. Yeah, absolutely. Again. Yeah, absolutely. Good. Now try exactly. That's true. Very good. Now let's build a short, realistic conversation so you can feel how these phrases connect naturally. Imagine this dialogue. Your friend says, I think learning English through daily phrases is more effective than studying long grammar explanations. You respond, absolutely. It helps you sound more natural. Your friend continues, and it's easier to remember. You reply, exactly. You're practicing real language. That's a smooth, natural flow. Now repeat your lines out loud. Absolutely. Pause. Exactly. Try again with a calm, confident voice. Now here's an important learning tip. When you practice agreement phrases, don't practice them alone. Always connect them to a reason. For example, absolutely, it really helps. Or, you're right about that, it makes learning easier. This trains you to continue speaking instead of stopping after one word. Let's practice that together. Repeat after me. Absolutely, it really helps. Again. You're right about that, it makes a difference. Good. Now I want to. Introduce a small creative exercise that will help your fluency grow faster. I call it the upgrade yes exercise. Every time you want to say yes in English today, stop for half a second and upgrade it. Replace yes with absolutely exactly, or you're right about that. This small change can completely transform how fluent you sound. Now let's practice some everyday examples. Someone says this coffee shop is really nice. You say exactly, I love the atmosphere. Someone says speaking slowly helps pronunciation. You say you're right about that. Someone says consistency is the key to fluency. You say I couldn't agree more. Repeat those responses out loud if you can. Feel how natural they sound. Now let's do one more guided speaking challenge. This time I'll say a sentence, and you'll respond using a full phrase, not just one word. Sentence 1. Learning English takes time, but it's worth it. Respond now. You could say absolutely. It's a long-term process. Sentence 2. Making mistakes helps you learn. Respond now. You're right about that. Mistakes are part of progress. Sentence 3. Daily speaking practice builds confidence. Respond now. I couldn't agree more. Excellent. This is real training. You're building automatic responses. Before we close this part, I want to remind you of something important. Fluency doesn't come from knowing many phrases. It comes from using a few powerful phrases very well. And agreement phrases are among the most powerful tools you can have. Take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders. Say these phrases one more time with confidence. Absolutely, exactly. You're right about that. I couldn't agree more. In the next part, we'll add more color and emotion to your English by learning how to express surprise and feelings naturally, so your speech doesn't just sound correct, but sounds alive. Now that you're comfortable agreeing and showing support, it's time to bring more life into your English. In this part, we're going to focus on expressing emotion and surprise naturally. This is a very important step, especially for beginners, because many learners speak English in a flat, neutral way. The grammar might be correct, but the feeling is missing. And without feeling, conversations sound robotic. In real life, people react emotionally all the time. They show surprise, excitement, shock, happiness, or concern in just a few words. These reactions are short, simple, and powerful. And when you use them correctly, your English instantly sounds more human. Let's start with one of the most common expressions of surprise in spoken English. No way. Native speakers use this phrase all the time when they hear something unexpected or exciting. It doesn't mean impossible in a serious way. It's just a natural reaction. Imagine your friend says, I got a new job yesterday. A very natural response would be, no way, short, emotional, and friendly. Now repeat after me slowly. No way. Again, no way. Good. Now try saying it with more emotion. Imagine you're surprised in a good way. No way. Excellent. Another very common reaction phrase is, you're kidding. This phrase is used when you're surprised and you want to confirm what you heard. It's friendly and conversational. Repeat after me slowly. You're kidding. Again, you're kidding. Good. Now add a little rise in your tone at the end. You're kidding. Perfect. Now let's learn another phrase that shows stronger surprise. That's unbelievable. This phrase is often used when something feels surprising or impressive. Repeat after me. That's unbelievable. Again, that's unbelievable. Good. One more useful phrase is, are you serious? This is very common in spoken English. It's used when you're surprised and you want to check if something is true. Repeat after me slowly. Are you serious again? Are you serious? Good. Try it with a natural rise at the end. Excellent. Now let's pause and reflect for a moment. Notice how all these phrases are short. Notice how they don't need grammar thinking. You don't need to build a sentence. You just react. And that's exactly what fluent speakers do. They react first, they explain later. Now let's practice these phrases in real-life situations, so your brain learns when and how to use them. Imagine this situation. A friend says, I met your favorite actor yesterday. You respond, no way, you're kidding. Listen to how natural that sounds. Now imagine someone says, we finished the project 2 days early. You respond, that's unbelievable. Or, are you serious? Let's repeat some full responses together. Say them out loud. No way, you're kidding. That's unbelievable. Are you serious? Good. Now let's do a guided speaking exercise. I'll say a sentence and you'll react using one of these phrases. Pause and speak out loud. First sentence, I just ran 5 miles this morning. Pause and respond. You could say, "Are you serious?" Second sentence, "I'm moving to another country next month." Pause and respond, "No way." Third sentence, "I got promoted at work." Pause and respond. "That's unbelievable." Excellent. You're training emotional response, not translation. Now here's something very important. Emotion in English is not only about the words, it's about your voice. Your tone goes up when you're surprised. It goes down when you're calm. This is called intonation, and it's a big part of sounding natural. Let's practice intonation together. Repeat after me, paying attention to your voice. "No way." Let your voice rise slightly. "You're kidding." Let your voice rise at the end. "That's unbelievable." Keep it strong but steady. "Are you serious?" Rise at the end. Good. If you feel a little uncomfortable, that's okay. Your voice is learning new habits. Now let's move from surprise to expressing emotion more generally. Fluent speakers don't only react with surprise, they also react with empathy and feeling. For example, if someone tells you something difficult, you might say, "That must be tough." This shows understanding and care. Repeat after me slowly, "That must be tough." Again, "That must be tough." Good. Another common phrase is, "I know how you feel." This is used when you want to show empathy. Repeat after me, "I know how you feel." Again, "I know how you feel." Good. Now let's practice these in context. Imagine your friend says, "I've been really tired lately because of work." You respond, "That must be tough." Imagine someone says, "I failed my test." You respond, "I know how you feel." Let's repeat those responses together. Say them calmly and kindly. "That must be tough. I know how you feel." Very good. Now let's do a small imagination exercise which helps your brain connect language with feeling. Close your eyes for a moment if you feel comfortable. Imagine someone you care about is talking to you in English. They are sharing good news or bad news. You listen calmly. You react naturally. You don't rush. You use short emotional phrases. This is how real conversations feel. Now open your eyes and repeat these phrases one more time. "No way." "You're kidding." "That's unbelievable." "Are you serious?" "That must be tough." "I know how you feel." Excellent. Now let's combine surprise and empathy in a short dialogue so you can feel the rhythm. Imagine this conversation. Your friend says, "I finally got the job I wanted, but it was a very long process." You respond, "No way. That's amazing." Your friend adds, "It was really stressful." You reply, "I know how you feel." That must be tough. Notice how the conversation flows naturally from excitement to empathy. Now repeat your lines out loud. "No way." Pause. "I know how you feel." Try again calmly. Now here's a very useful daily practice tip. Every time you hear news in English, even on social media or in a video, react out loud with one of these phrases. You don't need to speak to a person, just react. This trains your emotional reflex in English. Before we finish this part, let's do one final guided speaking drill. I'll say a sentence and you'll react emotionally. "I got a new apartment." React now. "I lost my phone yesterday." React now. "I passed my English exam." React now. Good. There is no single correct answer. The goal is reaction, not perfection. Now take a deep breath. Relax. You've just learned how to add emotion and surprise to your English. This is a huge step towards sounding natural. In the next part, we'll focus on how to show interest and keep conversations going by using listener responses that make the other person feel heard and comfortable. Now that you've learned how to express surprise and emotion, we're going to focus on another essential skill in spoken English: showing interest and keeping a conversation going. This is where many beginners feel stuck. They understand what the other person is saying, but they don't know how to respond naturally. They stay silent, or they only say yes or okay, and the conversation slowly fades. Fluent speakers don't let conversations die like that. They use small listener responses to show they are engaged. These responses are not long sentences. They are short, friendly phrases that say, "I'm listening, I care, and please continue." When you learn these phrases, your English instantly sounds more natural and connected. Let's begin with a very common listener response. "Oh, really?" This phrase is used when you hear something interesting or new and you want the speaker to continue. It shows curiosity and attention. Repeat after me slowly. "Oh, really?" Again. "Oh, really good." Notice how your voice rises slightly at the end. That rising tone shows interest. Another very common phrase is, "That's nice." This is used when someone shares something positive. It's warm and friendly, and it's used all the time in everyday conversations. Repeat after me. That's nice. Again. That's nice. Good. Now let's add sounds great. This phrase is often used when someone talks about plans, ideas, or experiences. It shows approval and interest. Repeat after me slowly. Sounds great. Again. Sounds great. Excellent. Another useful phrase is good for you. This is used when someone shares an achievement or something positive they did. It shows encouragement. Repeat after me. Good for you. Again. Good for you. Good. Now let's learn one more listener response that is extremely important. I see what you mean. This phrase shows understanding and connection. It's very natural in spoken English, especially when someone explains their thoughts or feelings. Repeat after me slowly. I see what you mean. Again. I see what you mean. Good. Now let's pause and think about something important. These phrases don't add new information to the conversation. Their job is not to explain. Their job is to keep the conversation warm and alive. Fluent speakers use them constantly, often without even thinking. Now let's practice these listener responses in real-life situations. Imagine a friend says, I finally started going to the gym again after a long break. You can respond, oh really, that's nice. Or, good for you. Imagine someone says, I've been trying to manage my time better lately. You can respond, I see what you mean. Now repeat a few responses with me. Say them out loud. Oh really, that's nice. Sounds great. Good for you. I see what you mean. Excellent. Now let's build a short dialogue so you can feel how these phrases work together naturally. Imagine this conversation. A friend says, I started learning English again last month. You respond, oh really? The friend continues, yeah, I practice a little every day. You reply, that's nice. Good for you. The friend adds, it's still difficult sometimes. You respond, I see what you mean. This conversation feels smooth and friendly, even though your responses are short. Now repeat your lines out loud. Oh really, pause. That's nice. Pause. I see what you mean. Try again calmly. Now let's talk about tone for a moment. Listener responses depend heavily on tone. If your tone is flat, the phrase can sound bored. But if your tone is warm, the phrase sounds encouraging. Tone is just as important as words. Let's practice tone together. Repeat after me with warmth in your voice. Oh really, that's nice. Sounds great. I see what you mean. Good. Imagine you're smiling slightly as you speak. That helps your tone naturally. Now let's do a guided speaking exercise. I'll say a sentence and you'll respond using one listener phrase. Pause and speak out loud. First sentence, I watched a really interesting documentary last night. Pause and respond. You could say, oh really, or sounds great. Second sentence, I've been feeling more confident speaking English lately. Pause and respond. That's nice. Or, good for you. Third sentence, it's hard to stay consistent sometimes. Pause and respond. I see what you mean. Very good. You're learning to react naturally. Now let's add one creative layer to this skill. Fluent speakers often combine a listener response with a short follow-up. This keeps the conversation moving forward. For example, instead of only saying, oh really, you can say, oh really, that's interesting. Or instead of only, that's nice, you can say, that's nice, I'm happy for you. Let's practice that. Repeat after me. Oh really, that's interesting. That's nice, I'm happy for you. Sounds great. I'd love that. I see what you mean. It's not easy. Good. Now let's practice a slightly longer dialogue to train flow. Imagine this scene. Your friend says, I've been trying to wake up earlier to study English. You respond, oh really, that's nice. Your friend says it's difficult, but I feel more productive. You reply, I see what you mean. Good for you. That sounds supportive and natural. Now repeat your responses out loud. Focus on calm rhythm and gentle tone. Now here's an important daily practice tip. When you listen to someone speaking English, even in a video or podcast, practice listener responses quietly. You don't need to speak to a real person, just respond in your mind or whisper. This builds automatic reaction skills. Before we finish this part, let's do one final speaking challenge. I'll say a few sentences. You respond naturally using any listener response you like. I just finished a long work day. I'm thinking of changing my routine. I feel more motivated these days. Pause after each one and respond out loud. There is no perfect answer. The goal is connection. Now take a deep breath. You've just learned how to keep conversations alive by showing interest and understanding. This is a major step toward natural fluency. In the next part, we'll move into another essential tool for natural speaking, small filler words, and thinking sounds that help you speak smoothly while your brain is processing ideas. Now that you know how to react, show interest, and keep a conversation alive, we're going to focus on something that almost every fluent speaker uses without thinking. These are small filler words and thinking sounds. Many beginners believe these words are mistakes, but in real spoken English, they are signs of natural, confident communication. They give your brain time to think, and they make your speech sound smooth instead of rushed or mechanical. Let's start by understanding why filler words are important. When you speak your native language, you don't speak in perfect sentences all the time. You pause, you think, you adjust. Fluent English speakers do the same thing. They use small words to hold the conversation while they think about what to say next. Without these words, your English can sound too direct, too stiff, or too unnatural. One of the most common filler words in English is well. Native speakers use it at the beginning of a sentence when they are thinking, explaining, or responding carefully. It sounds calm and natural. Repeat after me slowly. Well, again, well. Good. Now imagine someone asks you a question and you need a moment to think. You might say, well, I think. That sounds relaxed and confident. Now repeat after me. Well, I think. Again. Well, I think. Excellent. Another very common filler phrase is you know. This phrase is used when you want to sound friendly or when you're explaining something in a casual way. It helps connect you with the listener. Repeat after me slowly. You know. Again. You know. Good. Now try it in a short phrase. It's kind of difficult, you know. Say it again. Very good. Now let's add another useful one. I mean. This phrase is often used when you want to clarify or adjust what you just said. It's extremely common in spoken English. Repeat after me. I mean. Again. I mean. Good. Now try this sentence. It was fun, I mean a little challenging. Say it again slowly. Excellent. Another filler phrase that helps you sound natural is actually. This word is used when you want to add information or correct something gently. Repeat after me slowly. Actually. Again. Actually. Good. Now try it in a sentence. Actually, I enjoy practicing English this way. Say it again calmly. Now let's pause and notice something important. These words are not empty. They serve a purpose. They soften your speech. They give you time. They make your English sound human. But like salt in food, they are good in small amounts. The goal is natural balance, not overuse. Now let's practice these filler words in real-life situations. Imagine someone asks you, why do you like learning English? You can respond naturally by saying, well, I like it because it helps me connect with people. That sounds calm and confident. Now imagine someone asks, is English difficult for you? You might say, well, sometimes you know it takes time. That sounds honest and natural. Repeat those examples out loud if you can. Focus on the rhythm, not speed. Now let's do a guided speaking exercise. I'll ask a question and you'll answer using one filler phrase. Question 1. What do you usually do in the morning? Pause and respond. You could say, well, I usually have breakfast and check my phone. Question 2. Do you enjoy speaking English? Pause and respond. Actually, yes, I enjoy it more now. Question 3. Why is practice important? Pause and respond. I mean, it helps you remember things. Very good. You're learning to think and speak at the same time. Now let's introduce another useful filler phrase, let me think. This phrase is very natural when you need a few seconds to decide or remember something. Repeat after me slowly. Let me think. Again, let me think. Good. Now imagine someone asks you, what's your favorite movie? You can respond. Let me think. I think it's a comedy. That pause is natural and confident. Repeat that sentence out loud. Good. Now let's combine several filler words in a longer example so you can hear how they work together. Imagine you're describing a place you like. You could say, well, it's a small cafe near my house. You know, it's very quiet. I mean, it's not fancy, but it's comfortable. That sounds like real spoken English, not a textbook. Now repeat that example slowly. Focus on how the pauses feel natural. Now I want to introduce a creative practice technique that will help you a lot. It's called Think Aloud Practice. Once a day, choose a simple topic like your day, your food, or your plans. Speak out loud for 1 minute using filler words. Don't prepare, just speak. Use well, or actually naturally. This trains your brain to stay in English without freezing. Now let's practice a short think aloud example together. Repeat after me or say it in your own way. Well, today was a bit busy. I had a lot of things to do. It wasn't stressful, but it took time. Actually, I feel pretty good about it. That's natural English thinking. Now let's talk briefly about confidence. Many learners feel embarrassed using filler words because they think it sounds messy. But in reality, using them correctly makes you sound more confident. It shows that you're comfortable enough to think while speaking. Now let's do one more guided speaking exercise. I'll give you a situation and you respond naturally. Situation 1. Someone asks, "What do you think about learning English online?" Pause and respond. You could say, "Well, I think it's very convenient." Situation 2. Someone asks, "Why didn't you reply earlier?" Pause and respond. "Actually, I was busy with work." Situation 3. Someone asks, "Do you like speaking in front of people?" Pause and respond. Sometimes it's challenging." Excellent. You're learning to keep speaking instead of stopping. Now let's add one more common thinking sound. Sometimes people simply say, or These sounds are also normal in spoken English. You don't need to practice them too much, but you should know that they are natural and acceptable. For example, I'm not sure yet, or let me check. These sounds are fine when used naturally. Now let's do a calm repetition to close this part. Repeat after me slowly. Well, actually. Let me think. Say them softly. Feel how they help your speech flow. Before we move on, remember this important idea. Fluent English is not about speaking perfectly. It's about speaking comfortably. Filler words help you stay comfortable and connected while your brain works. In the next part, we'll move into polite expressions and softening phrases that help your English sound kind, respectful, and natural in any situation. Now that you can keep your speech flowing naturally with filler words, it's time to focus on another essential skill for beginners who want to sound natural and confident in English. This skill is using polite expressions and softening phrases. These phrases help your English sound kind, respectful, and comfortable in everyday situations. They are not complicated, but they are extremely powerful. Many beginners speak English in a very direct way. Direct English is not wrong, but it can sometimes sound too strong or uncomfortable. Native speakers often soften their words to sound polite and friendly, even in simple situations. Learning these soft expressions will instantly make your English sound more natural. Let's begin with a very common situation, asking for something. Instead of saying, "Give me that," fluent speakers say, "Could you pass me that, please?" This small change makes a big difference in tone. Repeat after me slowly. Could you pass me that, please, again? Could you pass me that, please? Good. Now let's try another one. When you want something politely, instead of saying, "I want water," you can say, "Could I get some water, please?" Repeat after me. Could I get some water, please, again? Excellent. Notice how your voice sounds softer. That softness is what makes your English feel polite and natural. Now let's talk about asking someone to wait. Instead of saying, "Wait," you can say, "Just a second, please." Repeat after me slowly. Just a second, please. Again. Very good. These small phrases are used every day in cafes, offices, shops, and homes. They are simple, but they show respect and confidence. Now let's practice them in a short dialogue. Imagine you are in a cafe. You say, "Hi, could I get a coffee, please?" The staff replies, "Sure." You say, "Thank you." Say that dialogue out loud. Feel how natural it sounds. Now imagine you are at work. You say, "Would you mind checking this file for me?" This phrase is very polite and common. Repeat after me. Would you mind checking this file for me? Again. Good. Now imagine your colleague replies, "Sure." You respond, "Thanks. I really appreciate it." Repeat after me. I really appreciate it. Again. Excellent. Now let's pause and notice something important. Politeness in English is not about being formal. It's about sounding thoughtful and respectful. These phrases help people feel comfortable around you. Now let's talk about another common situation, interrupting or asking for clarification. Sometimes you don't hear something clearly. Instead of saying, "What," which can sound rude, you can say, "Sorry, could you say that again?" Repeat after me slowly. Sorry, could you say that again? Again. Good. Another natural option is, I didn't quite catch that. Repeat after me. I didn't quite catch that. Again. Excellent. Now imagine this situation. Someone says, we're meeting at 9. You didn't hear clearly. You say, sorry, could you say that again? That sounds polite and confident. Now let's practice another soft phrase. When you want to ask for permission, you can say, if it's okay. Repeat after me. If it's okay. Again. Good. Now try this sentence. If it's okay, could we talk later? Say it slowly. Very good. This phrase is very useful at work or with people you don't know well. Now let's move to polite expressions for saying thank you. Of course, you already know thank you. But fluent speakers often use variations to sound more natural. Repeat after me. Thanks a lot. Again. Good. Now try this one. That means a lot to me. Repeat it slowly. Excellent. Another common one is, you've been very helpful. Repeat after me. You've been very helpful. Again. Good. Now let's practice responding to thanks. Instead of always saying, you're welcome, you can say, no problem. Repeat after me. No problem. Again. Another natural response is, my pleasure. Repeat after me. My pleasure. Good. And another one is anytime. Repeat after me. Anytime. Excellent. Now let's use these in short examples. Someone says thanks for your help. You respond no problem or my pleasure. Say those exchanges out loud. They sound friendly and natural. Now let's add a small creative practice that will help beginners a lot. Every day choose one polite phrase and use it at least once. Maybe when ordering food. Maybe when talking to a coworker. Maybe even when talking to yourself. Repetition in real life is what builds fluency. Now let's talk about ending conversations politely. Many beginners end conversations very suddenly by saying, bye. That's not wrong, but fluent speakers often soften the ending. Repeat after me slowly. It was nice talking to you. Again. Good. Now try this one. Let's catch up soon. Repeat it. Excellent. Another common one is talk to you later. Repeat after me. Talk to you later. Good. And finally, take care. Repeat after me. Take care. Excellent. Now imagine you are finishing a phone call. You say, all right, I've got to go now. It was nice talking to you. Take care. That sounds warm and natural. Now let's do a guided speaking exercise to close this part. I'll describe a situation and you respond politely. Situation 1. You want someone to pass you something. You say, could you pass me that, please? Situation 2. You didn't hear clearly. You say, sorry, could you say that again? Situation 3. Someone helps you. You say, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. Situation 4. You are leaving. You say, it was nice talking to you. Talk to you later. Excellent. You're building real-life English habits. Before we finish this part, remember this key idea. Polite English is not difficult. It's built from small, gentle phrases used consistently. These phrases make people feel comfortable, and they make you sound confident and fluent. In the next part, we'll move into phrases for showing understanding, empathy, and emotional connection, which are essential for real conversations. Now that you've learned how to sound polite and respectful, it's time to focus on something even more important for real communication. This is the skill of showing understanding and empathy in English. These are the phrases that make conversations feel human, warm, and emotionally connected. Without them, English can sound cold or mechanical. With them, your English sounds alive. Many beginners focus only on vocabulary and grammar. But fluent speakers focus on connection. They listen, they react, and they show that they understand how the other person feels. That is what we will practice in this part. Let's begin with one of the most powerful everyday phrases in English. I understand. This phrase sounds simple, but native speakers rarely use it alone. They soften it and make it more natural. Repeat after me slowly. I get it. Again, I get it. Good. Now try this one. I totally get you. Repeat after me. I totally get you. Again. Excellent. This phrase shows strong understanding and empathy. It tells the other person that you truly understand their feeling, not just their words. Now imagine this situation. Your friend says, I stayed up all night working and my boss still wasn't happy. You respond, I totally get you. That must be frustrating. Say that sentence out loud. Feel the emotion in your voice. That's real English. Now let's practice another very common phrase. That makes sense. Repeat after me slowly. That makes sense. Again. Good. This phrase is used when someone explains something and you want to show that you understand their reasoning. Now practice this sentence. Yeah, that makes sense. Repeat after me. Yeah, that makes sense. Excellent. Now let's practice a short conversation. Someone says I didn't go out because I was really tired. You say, yeah, that makes sense. Say it naturally. Good. Now let's move to another group of empathy phrases. These are used when someone is having a difficult time. Repeat after me slowly. That sounds tough. Again. Good. Another one is, that must be hard. Repeat after me. That must be hard. Excellent. These phrases show kindness and emotional intelligence. They are extremely common in natural English. Now imagine your friend says, I've been really stressed at work lately. You respond, that sounds tough. I hope things get better soon. Say that out loud. Feel how caring it sounds. Now let's talk about phrases for showing shared experience. Repeat after me. I know how you feel. Again. Good. This phrase is used when you've experienced something similar. Now imagine this situation. Someone says learning English can be exhausting sometimes. You respond, I know how you feel. Say it naturally. Excellent. Another shared phrase is tell me about it. Repeat after me slowly. Tell me about it. Again. Good. This phrase means I completely understand because I feel the same way. Now imagine your friend says, I never have enough time to practice English. You say tell me about it. Say it with feeling. Good. Now let's move to phrases for encouragement. These are very important, especially for beginners. Repeat after me. You're doing great. Again. Excellent. Another one. Keep it up. Repeat after me. Keep it up. Good. And another one. You've got this. Repeat after me slowly. You've got this. Excellent. These phrases are used to encourage others, but also yourself. Now imagine a friend says, I'm nervous about speaking English. You respond, don't worry. You've got this. Say it confidently. Good. Now let's turn these phrases inward. Say them to yourself quietly. You're doing great. Pause. Keep it up. Pause. I've got this. This self-talk is powerful. It trains your brain to associate English with confidence instead of fear. Now let's practice emotional reactions. Fluent speakers react naturally to news with emotion. Repeat after me. Oh, really again? Good. Now try. That's amazing. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one. Oh no, that's too bad. Repeat after me. Good. And another one. I'm so happy for you. Repeat after me slowly. Excellent. Now imagine this situation. Someone says, I got a new job. You respond, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. Say it naturally. Good. Now imagine someone says, I didn't pass my exam. You respond, oh no, that's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. Say it with empathy. Excellent. Now let's practice listening responses. These are short phrases that show you're engaged. Repeat after me. Oh, I see. Again. Good. Another one. Right. Repeat. Good. Another one. I see what you mean. Repeat after me slowly. Excellent. These phrases are used while listening, not only at the end. They keep conversations flowing. Now imagine someone is explaining something. You say, oh, I see, or I see what you mean. Say them softly. That's natural English rhythm. Now let's do a guided empathy exercise. I'll say a sentence. You respond naturally. I say I've been feeling really tired lately. You say that sounds tough. I say learning English takes so much time. You say I know how you feel. I say I finally finished my project. You say, that's amazing. I say I'm worried about my presentation tomorrow. You say, you've got this. Excellent. You're not just learning phrases, you're learning how to connect emotionally. Now let's add a small creative practice. Every day choose one empathy phrase and use it in a real conversation or even in your thoughts. When you watch a video, react out loud. When you hear a story, respond. This builds automatic reactions in English. Now let's talk about tone. Tone is just as important as words. When you say empathy phrases, your voice should be calm and warm. Not rushed, not flat. Say this sentence slowly with feeling. I totally get you. Now say this one softly. That must be hard. Feel the difference. Your English becomes alive when your tone matches your meaning. Now let's combine empathy with politeness. Repeat after me. I'm sorry you're going through that. Again. Good. This phrase is very common when someone shares a problem. Now imagine someone says, I've been sick all week. You respond, I'm sorry you're going through that. I hope you feel better soon. Say it naturally. Excellent. Now let's practice a longer example. Imagine this short dialogue. Friend says, I've been trying to improve my English, but I feel stuck. You say, I totally get you. That must be hard. But you're doing great. Keep it up. Say the full response out loud. Feel how supportive it sounds. This is real communication, not perfect grammar, real connection. Now let's end this part with a reflection. Fluency is not about sounding perfect. It's about sounding human. When you show empathy, people feel comfortable speaking with you. They focus on the message, not the mistakes. From now on, don't just listen to English. React to it, say something, even one small phrase. I see, that makes sense, that sounds tough. Each reaction builds your English brain. In the next part, we'll move into everyday small talk phrases and how to start and continue conversations naturally, even if you feel shy. Now that you can show empathy and emotional understanding, it's time to learn one of the most important skills in everyday English. This skill is small talk. Small talk may sound unimportant, but in real life, it is the foundation of fluent communication. It helps you start conversations, feel comfortable, and build connections with people naturally. Many beginners feel nervous about small talk. They think they don't have enough vocabulary or interesting things to say. But the truth is, small talk is not about saying something smart. It's about saying something simple, friendly, and human. Let's begin with greetings. Fluent speakers rarely stop at just hello. They often add a small phrase to sound warm and natural. Repeat after me slowly. Hi, how's your day going again? Good. Now try this one. Hey, how have you been? Repeat after me. Excellent. Another very common one is good to see you. Repeat after me slowly. Good to see you. Again. Good. These greetings are used everywhere, at work, with friends, even with people you don't know well. Now imagine you meet a coworker in the morning. You say morning. How's everything going? Say that out loud. That sounds natural. Now let's practice responding to small talk questions. If someone asks how's your day going, you don't need a long answer. Repeat after me. Pretty good so far. Again, good. Another natural response is can't complain. Repeat after me. Can't complain. Excellent. And another one, it's been busy but good. Repeat after me slowly. Good. These short responses are very common. They sound relaxed and fluent. Now imagine this short exchange. Someone says, how's your day going? You respond pretty good so far. How about you say it naturally? Excellent. Now let's move to small talk topics. The most common topics are daily life, work, weather, and plans. Let's start with the weather. Repeat after me. It's a nice day today, isn't it? Again, good. Another one, it's been really hot lately. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another common one is feels like it's going to rain. Repeat after me slowly. Good. These phrases are safe and easy. They help you start conversations without pressure. Now imagine you're waiting somewhere and someone says, the weather's been crazy lately. You respond, yeah, tell me about it. Say it naturally. Now let's talk about daily life small talk. Repeat after me. This week's going by so fast. Again, good. Another one, it's been a long day. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one, same old, same old. Repeat after me slowly. Good. These phrases are short, relaxed, and very natural. Now imagine this conversation. Friend says, how's work? You say it's been busy but good. Say it out loud. Perfect. Now let's practice small talk about plans. Repeat after me. Got any plans for the weekend again? Good. Another one. What are you up to later? Repeat after me. Excellent. And another one. I'm thinking of relaxing tonight. Repeat after me slowly. Good. Now imagine it's Friday afternoon. You say, got any plans for the weekend? Your friend says, not really. You respond, sounds nice. Say that exchange out loud. Small talk doesn't need to be exciting. It needs to be comfortable. Now let's practice reacting naturally in small talk. Repeat after me. Oh, really again? Good. Another one. That sounds nice. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one. Sounds good. Repeat after me slowly. Good. These reactions show interest and keep conversations going. Now imagine someone says, I'm going to visit my family this weekend. You respond, that sounds nice. Say it naturally. Now let's move into continuing a conversation. This is where many beginners stop. They answer, but they don't continue. To continue, you simply add a small question or comment. Repeat after me. How about you again? Good. Another one. What about you? Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one. How was it? Repeat after me slowly. Good. These short questions keep the conversation alive. Now imagine this conversation. Someone says, I watched a movie last night. You say, oh really? How was it? Say it out loud. Perfect. Now let's practice small talk with curiosity. Repeat after me. What's it like again? Good. Another one. How did that go? Repeat after me. Excellent. These questions show interest and friendliness. Now imagine someone says, I started a new job. You respond, oh really? What's it like? Say it naturally. Now let's practice a full small talk flow. Imagine you meet someone you haven't seen in a while. You say, hey, good to see you. How have you been? They say, pretty good, just busy with work. You respond, I know what you mean. Work's been busy for me too. Say that exchange out loud. Feel how natural it sounds. Now let's add a creative practice for beginners. Every day try to start one small conversation in English. It can be very short, even one sentence. Ask someone how their day is. Comment on the weather. Ask about plans. This daily habit builds confidence faster than memorizing words. Now let's talk about small talk endings. When you want to end a small conversation politely, you can use soft closing phrases. Repeat after me, well, I should get going. Again, good. Another one, it was nice talking to you. Repeat after me, excellent. Another one, catch up later. Repeat after me slowly. Good. Now imagine this situation. You say, well, I should get going. It was nice talking to you. That sounds polite and natural. Now let's practice a guided small talk exercise. I'll start the conversation. You respond. I say, hey, how's your day going? You say, pretty good so far. I say, it's been really hot lately. You say, yeah, tell me about it. I say, got any plans for tonight? You say, not much, just relaxing. I say, sounds good. You say, yeah, excellent. That's real small talk. Now let's reflect for a moment. Small talk is not about perfect English. It's about being present. It's about showing interest and comfort. When you stop trying to sound perfect, your English becomes more natural. From now on, don't avoid small talk. Use it as practice. Every greeting is a chance to improve your fluency. In the next part, we'll learn how to keep conversations going longer by building on what the other person says and sharing your own experiences naturally. Now that you can start conversations and handle small talk comfortably, it's time to move to the next level of real communication. This is the skill of keeping conversations going naturally. Many beginners can greet someone and answer simple questions, but then the conversation stops. In this part, you will learn how to continue, expand, and share without feeling pressure. Fluent conversation is not about talking a lot. It's about responding in a way that invites the other person to keep speaking. It's about adding small details, emotions, and questions naturally. Let's begin with one simple but powerful idea. Build on what the other person says. If someone says one sentence, you don't need to change the topic. You stay with it and add something small. For example, someone says, I went hiking last weekend. Instead of only saying nice, you can say, that sounds nice. Where did you go? Repeat after me slowly. That sounds nice. Again. Good. Now repeat. Where did you go? Excellent. Those two small sentences turn a short reply into a real conversation. Now let's practice another example. Someone says, I watched a new series last night. You say, oh really? What's it about? Repeat after me. What's it about again? Good. Now imagine they explain a little. You can respond, that sounds interesting. Repeat after me. That sounds interesting. Excellent. Now let's practice curiosity phrases that keep conversations alive. Repeat after me slowly. How was it again? Good. Another one. Did you enjoy it? Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one. How did that go? Repeat after me slowly. Good. These questions are simple, but they show interest. That's what people remember. Now let's practice with a full short exchange. Someone says, I had a presentation today. You say, oh really? How did it go? They say, it went pretty well. You say, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. Say that exchange out loud. It sounds natural and supportive. Now let's move to sharing your own experiences. This is where beginners often feel stuck. They think they need long stories, but you don't. You only need 3 things. What happened, one detail. How you felt. Let's practice this structure together. Repeat after me. Yesterday I watched a movie. Good. Now add a detail. It was really relaxing. Good. Now add a feeling. I really enjoyed it. Say the full sentence out loud. That's a complete natural sharing. Now let's try another one. Repeat after me. This morning I went for a walk. Good. Add a detail. The weather was nice. Good. Add a feeling. It felt great. Say it all together. Excellent. This simple pattern helps you speak without stress. Now let's practice responding and sharing together. Someone says, I've been really busy this week. You say, I know what you mean. I've been busy too. I've had a lot of work lately. Say that out loud. Notice how you connect your experience to theirs. Now let's practice transition phrases that help your speech flow. Repeat after me slowly. By the way, again, good. This phrase is used when you want to add something related. Now try this one, actually. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one. Speaking of that, repeat after me slowly. Good. These phrases help you move smoothly without stopping. Now imagine this situation. Someone says, I've been drinking more coffee lately. You say, yeah, me too. Actually, I'm trying to drink less. Say it naturally. That's fluent conversation. Now let's practice adding opinions softly. Repeat after me. I think. Again. Good. Another one. In my opinion. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one. I feel like. Repeat after me slowly. Good. These phrases help you share thoughts without sounding too strong. Now imagine someone says learning English online is helpful. You say, I agree. I think it's really convenient. Say it out loud. That sounds natural. Now let's talk about agreement and gentle disagreement. Repeat after me. I agree. Again. Good. Now a softer one. I agree to some extent. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one. I see your point, but. Repeat after me slowly. Good. These phrases help you stay polite and confident. Now imagine this conversation. Someone says grammar is the most important thing. You say, I see your point, but I think speaking practice is important too. Say it naturally. That's advanced beginner English. Now let's practice storytelling lightly. Not long stories, just small moments. Repeat after me. The other day. Again. Good. This phrase is very common and natural. Now try this sentence. The other day I met an old friend. Repeat after me. Excellent. Now add a feeling. It was really nice. Say the full sentence. That's a short story. Now let's do a guided speaking exercise. I'll start and you respond. I say, I tried a new restaurant last night. You say, oh, really? How was it? I say, it was great. The food was amazing. You say, that sounds nice. I say, I want to go back again. You say, yeah, I would too. Excellent. That's real conversation flow. Now let's talk about when you don't know what to say. This happens to everyone. Instead of going silent, you can use thinking phrases. Repeat after me. Let me think. Again. Good. Another one. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one. That's a good question. Repeat after me slowly. Good. These phrases give you time and keep the conversation alive. Now imagine someone asks, what's your favorite movie? You pause and say, let me think. That's natural. Now let's practice ending your turn smoothly. Repeat after me. What about you again? Good. This simple question passes the conversation back naturally. Now imagine you share something. You end with, what about you? That invites response. Now let's do a longer practice. Imagine this conversation. You say, I've been practicing English a lot lately. They say, oh really? You say, yeah. I listen to English every day. It helps me feel more confident. What about you? Say that out loud. That's fluent, confident English. Now let's reflect. Keeping conversations going is not about knowing many words. It's about listening, reacting, and sharing small pieces of yourself. When you do this, conversations feel easy and natural. From now on, practice this skill daily. When someone talks, ask one small question. Share one small detail. Add one feeling. That's enough. In the next part, we'll focus on linking phrases that connect your ideas smoothly so your English sounds even more natural and confident. Now that you can start conversations, keep them going, and share your own experiences naturally, it's time to focus on another key skill that makes your English sound smooth and confident. This skill is using linking phrases. Linking phrases connect your ideas so your speech doesn't feel broken or robotic. They help your thoughts flow like real spoken English. Many beginners speak in short, separate sentences. That's not wrong, but fluent speakers connect ideas together gently. They don't stop after every sentence. They guide the listener smoothly from one idea to the next. That's exactly what we'll practice in this part. Let's begin with one of the most common and useful linking words. So. Repeat after me slowly. So. Again. Good. So is used to show result or consequence. It helps explain what happened next. Now try this sentence. I was tired, so I went to bed early. Repeat after me. Say it naturally. Excellent. Now let's practice another very common linking phrase. That's why. Repeat after me slowly. That's why. Again. Good. This phrase explains a reason in a natural way. Now practice this sentence. I practiced English every day. That's why I feel more confident. Say it out loud. That sounds natural and fluent. Now let's move to another linking phrase. because. Repeat after me, because, again, good. Now practice this sentence. I stayed home because it was raining. Say it naturally. Excellent. Now let's connect these ideas together. Repeat after me. I was busy, so I didn't reply. Good. Now try. I didn't reply because I was busy. Good. Notice how English allows flexibility, but the meaning stays clear. Now let's move to another group of linking phrases that fluent speakers use often. These are phrases for adding information. Repeat after me slowly. Also, again, good. Another one, in addition. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one, besides. Repeat after me slowly. Good. These phrases help you add ideas smoothly. Now practice this sentence. I listen to English podcasts. I also watch English videos. Say it out loud. That flows naturally. Now try this one. I practice speaking every day. In addition, I write short notes in English. Say it slowly. Excellent. Now let's move to contrast linking phrases. These help you show two different sides of an idea. Repeat after me slowly, but, again, good. Now try, however. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one, on the other hand. Repeat after me slowly. Good. These phrases help you sound thoughtful and balanced. Now practice this sentence. I like learning English, but it can be challenging. Say it naturally. Good. Now try this one. I enjoy studying at home. However, I sometimes miss talking to people. Say it out loud. Excellent. Now let's try. I like big cities. On the other hand, I enjoy quiet places too. Say it slowly. That sounds advanced but natural. Now let's move into time linking phrases. These help you tell stories clearly. Repeat after me slowly. At first, again, good. Another one, then. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one, after that. Repeat after me slowly. Good. Another one, later. Repeat after me. Excellent. And finally, in the end, repeat after me slowly. Good. Now let's use them together in a short story. Repeat after me. At first, I felt nervous speaking English. Good. Then I started practicing every day. Good. After that, I noticed improvement. Good. Later, I felt more confident. Good. In the end, English became easier. Say the full sequence out loud. That's a clear, natural story. Now let's practice cause and effect linking phrases. Repeat after me slowly. As a result. Again. Good. Another one. Because of that. Repeat after me. Excellent. Now practice this sentence. I practiced listening daily. As a result, my understanding improved. Say it naturally. Excellent. Now try. I missed practice yesterday. Because of that, I felt less confident. Say it out loud. That's real English. Now let's practice linking phrases for explanation. Repeat after me. In other words, again, good. Another one, that means, repeat after me. Excellent. These phrases help you explain something more clearly. Now practice this sentence. I practice every day. In other words, English is part of my routine. Say it naturally. Good. Now try. I listen while walking. That means I practice even when I'm busy. Excellent. Now let's move into casual linking phrases that are very common in spoken English. Repeat after me slowly. Again. Good. Another one. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one. Well, repeat after me slowly. Good. These phrases help you think while speaking and sound natural. Now practice this sentence. Well, I try to practice every day. Say it naturally. Now try. It's hard sometimes, but I keep going. Say it out loud. That's very natural spoken English. Now let's combine linking phrases with sharing experiences. Repeat after me. The other day I watched an English video and it really helped. Say it naturally. Good. Now try this one. I felt tired, so I listened instead of speaking. Say it slowly. Excellent. Now let's do a guided linking exercise. I'll give you short ideas. You connect them. I say I was tired. I went to bed early. You say I was tired, so I went to bed early. I say I practiced every day. I improved. You say I practiced every day. As a result, I improved. I say English is difficult. I enjoy it. You say English is difficult, but I enjoy it. Excellent. That's fluent thinking. Now let's practice linking your own daily routine. Say this slowly. I wake up early. Then I have breakfast. After that, I listen to English. Now say it again smoothly as one flow. Excellent. Now let's add feeling. Repeat after me. At first I felt shy, but now I feel more confident. Say it naturally. Good. Now let's talk about a very important idea. Linking phrases are not about sounding smart. They are about making your listener comfortable. They help the listener follow your thoughts easily. Now let's do a longer practice example. Imagine you are talking about your English learning. Say this slowly. At first, English felt difficult. However, I didn't give up. I practiced every day, and as a result, I became more confident. Now, English feels more natural. Say it out loud. That's a complete fluent explanation. Now let's practice linking phrases for opinions. Repeat after me. In my opinion. Again. Good. Another one. From my point of view. Repeat after me. Excellent. Now practice this sentence. In my opinion, daily practice is the key to fluency. Say it naturally. Good. Now try. From my point of view, listening helps the most. Excellent. Now let's practice soft linking for disagreement. Repeat after me slowly. I see your point, but, again, good. Now practice this sentence. I see your point, but I think practice matters more. Say it naturally. That sounds polite and confident. Now let's reflect. When you use linking phrases, your English sounds calm and connected. You don't rush. You guide your listener. That's what fluent speakers do. From now on, try to notice linking phrases when you listen to English. Then use one or two when you speak. Don't try to use many at once. One is enough. In the next part, we'll focus on expressing opinions, preferences, and feelings more clearly and confidently in English. Now that you can connect your ideas smoothly, it's time to focus on something very personal and very important in English communication. This is the skill of expressing opinions, preferences, and feelings clearly and naturally. Many beginners hesitate here because they worry about sounding wrong or too strong. But fluent English is not about being perfect. It's about expressing yourself honestly and comfortably. Let's start with opinions. The most common way beginners give opinions is by saying, I think. That's correct, and it's very useful. But fluent speakers use a few natural variations to sound more relaxed and confident. Repeat after me slowly. I think. Again. Good. Now try this one. I feel like. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another very natural one is, in my opinion. Repeat after me slowly. Good. And another common one. From my point of view. Repeat after me. Excellent. These phrases all do the same thing. They tell the listener, this is my personal view. That makes your English sound calm and respectful. Now let's practice them in simple sentences. Repeat after me. I think practicing every day really helps. Good. Now try. I feel like listening is very important. Good. Now try. In my opinion, speaking practice builds confidence. Excellent. Now try. From my point of view, mistakes are part of learning. Say it naturally. Notice something important. You are not trying to sound smart. You are trying to sound clear and honest. That's fluency. Now let's move to expressing preferences. This is how you talk about what you like and don't like. The simplest form is I like and I don't like. That's fine, but fluent speakers often use softer, more natural expressions. Repeat after me slowly. I really like. Again. Good. Another one. I'm really into. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one. I prefer. Repeat after me slowly. Good. And another common one. I'm not a big fan of. Repeat after me. Excellent. These phrases sound natural and conversational. Now let's practice. Repeat after me. I really like learning through videos. Good. Now try. I'm really into podcasts. Excellent. Now try. I prefer studying in the morning. Good. Now try. I'm not a big fan of memorizing long lists. Say it naturally. Now let's talk about stronger preferences. Repeat after me slowly. I'd rather. Again. Good. This phrase is used when choosing between two things. Now practice this sentence. I'd rather practice speaking than just read. Say it naturally. Another one. I'd rather stay home tonight. Good. Now let's move to expressing feelings. This is where your English becomes human. Many beginners only say I'm happy or I'm sad. That's okay, but fluent speakers use more natural variations. Repeat after me slowly. I feel good. Again. Good. Now try. I'm really glad. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one. I feel a bit tired. Repeat after me slowly. Good. Another one. It's been a long day. Repeat after me. Excellent. These phrases sound natural and real. Now let's practice expressing positive feelings. Repeat after me. That made my day. Again. Good. Another one. I'm really excited. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one. I'm happy about that. Repeat after me slowly. Good. Now let's practice expressing negative or neutral feelings gently. Repeat after me. I feel a bit stressed. Again, good. Another one, it's been a rough day. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one, I'm a little disappointed. Repeat after me slowly. Good. These phrases help you express yourself without sounding dramatic or uncomfortable. Now let's combine opinions and feelings. Repeat after me. I think learning English takes time, but I enjoy the process. Say it naturally. Good. Now try. In my opinion, practicing daily can be challenging, but it feels rewarding. Say it out loud. That sounds fluent and balanced. Now let's practice expressing agreement politely. Repeat after me. I agree. Again. Good. Now a softer one. I agree with you. Repeat after me. Excellent. Now an even softer one. I agree to some extent. Repeat after me slowly. Good. Now practice this sentence. I agree with you, but I think practice matters more. Say it naturally. That's respectful and confident. Now let's practice gentle disagreement. This is very important. Repeat after me slowly. I see your point, but... Again. Good. Another one. I'm not sure I agree. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one. Maybe, but... Repeat after me slowly. Good. These phrases help you share a different opinion without sounding rude. Now practice this sentence. I see your point, but I feel like speaking is more important. Say it naturally. Good. Now let's move to expressing uncertainty. Fluent speakers don't always sound sure. That's normal. Repeat after me slowly. I'm not sure. Again. Good. Another one. Maybe. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one. It depends. Repeat after me slowly. Good. Another one. I guess so. Repeat after me. Excellent. These phrases sound realistic and natural. Now practice this sentence. I'm not sure. It depends on my schedule. Say it out loud. That's everyday English. Now let's talk about expressing confidence. Repeat after me slowly. I'm pretty sure. Again. Good. Another one. I believe. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one. I'm confident that. Repeat after me slowly. Good. Now practice this sentence. I believe practice will help me improve. Say it naturally. Excellent. Now let's do a guided speaking exercise. I'll give you a situation. You respond naturally. Situation 1. Someone says learning English is hard. You say I agree, but I think it gets easier with practice. Situation 2. Someone asks, do you like studying at night? You say I prefer studying in the morning. Situation 3. Someone says you sound better in English. You say thank you. That means a lot. Situation 4. Someone asks, are you free tonight? You say I'm not sure. It depends. Excellent. You're expressing yourself clearly and calmly. Now let's add a small creative practice. Every day try to express one opinion in English, even if only to yourself. Say what you like. Say what you prefer. Say how you feel. This builds your English identity. Now let's reflect. Expressing opinions and feelings is not about advanced vocabulary. It's about clarity and honesty. When you speak from your real thoughts, your English sounds natural. You don't need to impress anyone. You just need to express yourself. In the next part, we'll focus on confidence mindset and how to speak English without fear or hesitation in real situations. Now that you can express opinions, preferences, and feelings clearly, it's time to focus on something that controls everything else in your English speaking journey. This is confidence and mindset. Many learners know enough English, but they don't speak because of fear. Fear of mistakes. Fear of sounding strange. Fear of being judged. In this part, we will work on removing that fear and replacing it with calm, natural confidence. Let's start with an important truth. Making mistakes is not a problem. Avoiding speaking is the real problem. Even native speakers make mistakes. They forget words. They change sentences halfway. They correct themselves. And they keep going. Fluency is not perfection. Fluency is movement. Repeat after me slowly. I don't need to be perfect. Again. Good. Now repeat. I just need to communicate. Excellent. Say both sentences together. Feel how freeing they are. Now let's talk about hesitation. When beginners hesitate, they often stop completely. But fluent speakers don't stop. They use small phrases to keep going. Repeat after me slowly. Let me think. Again. Good. Another one. How can I say this? Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one. What's the word? Repeat after me slowly. Good. These phrases buy you time. They show confidence, not weakness. Now imagine this situation. You're speaking and you forget a word. You say, let me think, and continue. That's natural English. Now let's practice self-correction. This is very important. Fluent speakers correct themselves calmly without panic. Repeat after me slowly. I was watching TV. Again. Good. Now try. Sorry, she lives nearby. Say it naturally. Excellent. Notice something important. You didn't stop. You didn't apologize too much. You corrected and continued. That is fluent behavior. Now let's talk about thinking in English. Many beginners translate from their native language. This slows everything down. Instead, start building simple English thoughts in your daily life. When you wake up, say in your head, I'm getting up now. When you eat, think, this tastes good. When you walk outside, think it's a nice day. Repeat after me slowly. I think in English every day. Again. Good. Now repeat. English is part of my daily life. Excellent. This habit changes everything. Now let's talk about self-talk. The way you talk to yourself affects your confidence. Instead of saying my English is bad, say something kinder. Repeat after me slowly. I'm improving every day. Again. Good. Another one. I'm doing my best. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one. It's okay to make mistakes. Repeat after me slowly. Good. These sentences may feel simple, but they build emotional safety. And safety creates fluency. Now let's practice confidence phrases you can use in real life. Repeat after me slowly. I'm pretty sure. Again. Good. Another one. I believe so. Repeat after me. Excellent. Another one. From what I know. Repeat after me slowly. Good. These phrases allow you to speak even when you're not 100% sure. Now imagine someone asks, do you think this will help you say, I believe so? That's confident and calm. Now let's talk about pressure. Many learners feel pressure to speak fast. But speed is not fluency. Calm is fluency. Repeat after me slowly. I can take my time. Again. Good. Now repeat. Speaking slowly is okay. Excellent. When you slow down, your pronunciation improves, your thinking improves, your confidence improves. Now let's practice a short confidence exercise. Say this sentence slowly and clearly. I can express myself in English. Pause. Now say, people understand me. Pause. Now say, that is enough. Feel the calm in those words. Now let's practice a real-life confidence scenario. Imagine someone speaks to you in English unexpectedly. Instead of freezing, you smile and say, sorry, could you say that again? That's confidence. Or you say, give me a second. That's confidence. Or you say, let me think. That's confidence. Fluency is not about knowing everything. It's about handling moments naturally. Now let's talk about building daily confidence habits. Choose one small English action every day. One sentence, one phrase, one reaction. That's enough. Repeat after me slowly. Small steps every day. Again. Good. Now repeat. Consistency builds confidence. Excellent. Now let's reflect. Think about how far you've come. You can greet people. You can show empathy. You can continue conversations. You can express opinions. You can connect ideas. That is real progress. Now let's end this part with a short guided confidence practice. Repeat after me softly. I am an English speaker. Pause. I can communicate clearly. Pause. I trust myself. Pause. Say those sentences again on your own. Confidence grows when you hear your own voice speaking English calmly. In the final part, we'll bring everything together. We'll review how to use all these skills in real-life situations and finish with a strong, motivating close. Now, we've reached the final part of this masterclass. Take a moment and breathe. You've come a long way. You've practiced daily phrases, empathy, small talk, conversation flow, linking ideas, expressing opinions, and building confidence. In this final section, we will bring everything together and show you how to use English naturally in real life, without pressure, without fear, and without overthinking. Let's begin with an important reminder. Fluency is not a single skill. It is the combination of many small habits working together. When you greet someone, comfortably listen actively, react emotionally, connect ideas smoothly, and express yourself honestly, you are already fluent in real-life terms. Now imagine a real situation. You meet someone at work or online, you smile and say, "Hi, how's your day going?" They reply, "Pretty busy." You respond, "I know what you mean. It's been busy for me too." Right there, you've already used small talk, empathy, and shared experience. That is fluent English. Now let's imagine the conversation continues. They say, "I've been trying to improve my English lately." You respond, "Oh really, that's great. I've been practicing every day too. Then you add. At first it was hard, but now it feels more natural. You've just used curiosity sharing and linking phrases naturally. This is how real conversations happen. They are not perfect. They are not planned. They are built step by step. Now let's do a full guided fluency scene together. Listen and imagine yourself speaking. You say, "Hey, good to see you. How have you been?" They say, "I've been okay. Just a bit tired lately." You respond, "That sounds tough. Work can be exhausting sometimes." They say, "Yeah, but I'm trying to stay positive." You say, "That makes sense. I think balance is really important." They say, "Exactly." You add, "By the way, have you been practicing English recently?" They say, "A little." You respond, "Same here. I listen every day, and it really helps." Read that exchange again in your mind. Nothing is complicated. Everything is natural. This is spoken English in real life. Now let's talk about mistakes one last time. Mistakes are not signs of failure. They are signs of movement. Every mistake means you tried. And trying is the only way fluency grows. When you make a mistake, don't stop. Just continue. Say, "Sorry, I mean," and keep going. People don't care about small mistakes. They care about connection. Now let's talk about consistency. You don't need long study sessions. You need daily contact with English. Even 5 minutes a day matters. Say one sentence in the morning. React to something in English during the day. Say one opinion at night. These small moments create big change. Repeat softly after me. Every day counts. Again, every day counts. Now let's talk about identity. You are not learning English someday. You are an English speaker now. Maybe not perfect, but real. You communicate, you understand, you respond. That makes you an English speaker. Repeat after me slowly. I am an English speaker. Again, good. Now let's do a final reflection exercise. Close your eyes if you want. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. Someone speaks to you in English. You don't panic. You don't translate. You smile and respond naturally. You ask questions. You share your thoughts. You enjoy the conversation. English feels familiar, not scary. That future is built from what you are doing right now. Now let's finish with a few final affirmations. Say them slowly with belief. I can speak English naturally. I express myself clearly. I am improving every day. I trust my English voice. Say them again quietly to yourself. Remember this. Fluency is not about knowing every word. It's about using what you know with confidence and warmth, and you already have that ability. So from today, speak a little more, judge yourself a little less, enjoy the process. Let English become part of your life, not something you fear. Thank yourself for staying through this lesson. You showed patience, you showed commitment, and that is exactly the mindset of a fluent speaker. Keep practicing, keep believing, keep speaking.